Okay, so I'm not going to sugarcoat this anymore, but just being real here. We want to be productive because we are too needy and desperate. Hear me out. What I mean by needy here is these constant thoughts and feelings like, I want to have this much money, I want to have that girl as my girlfriend, living in that kind of place, having this much respect and fame, or just overall feeling that I'm not good enough. We want to be happier, more productive, more focused, more relaxed, more muscular, more attractive, more successful, just overall more than we already are, regardless of what happens. And I know this because that's been literally me in the last 24 years up until this moment. I'm imagining myself from last year that desperately need to hear this. When I say we want to be more productive, I mean it. We are literally all in this together. I'm in the exact spot as you, and I want to do something about it now, which I know you want too. But you know what's scary about this? Is this rationalization we do in our minds that I'm satisfied, I'm happy where I'm at. I don't need a girlfriend right now. I want to be productive because this is healthy or something. And if you're genuinely at that point, more power to you. But I'll tell you this, if you have thoughts about a particular thing that constantly pops up again and again, that you deny that they are there, trying to sort of get rid of them, or just tense up or feel embarrassed every time someone mentions something, or you hear stuff like this on the internet calling this out, you're still needy, no matter what you want to believe. Take for instance food, water, or electricity. I'm assuming that if you're watching this, you have all these taken care of. You don't have these constant thoughts about where is the next meal, or can I get enough water for the day, or will electricity be gone tomorrow, stuff like that. No, because those needs have already been taken care of and you don't need to think about them. So why is it when you say that you don't need girls, or guys for that matter, but then obsessively think about them every morning or evening in front of the computer? Why is it that you say you don't need fame and respect, but constantly check your notifications and social media every hour? Why is it that you're looking for these productivity tools and systems where you can just lean into the fear of failure and humiliation right now? And you might be shocked to hear all this, but it's like you put this well-crafted act of portraying the best version of yourself, and then someone just pulls it all away and reveal that dusty and dark inside that's been there all along, that unfortunately would not go away just because you try to hide it and forget it. And that's exactly what I felt once I realized all this. I saw this skinny 23-year-old kid still stuck in his delusions while literally avoiding the thing he was trying to improve, which was himself, trying to put on an act impressing instead of just being authentic and real. Even productivity pioneers I still look up to have or had these kinds of dark sides to themselves. David Allen once told a podcast with Tim Ferriss that he went in prison for some violent thing he did to his friends.
I threw a brick through his window, and so he called the cops, and the cops put me away.
Tim Ferriss himself has opened up about trauma and anxiety and tried to commit suicide at one point. Cal Newport has told about his issue with insomnia in his podcast, and Tiago Forte has also told about his healing from trauma. And the reason why I bring this up is that everyone has these dark sides to themselves, something that they are unconsciously ashamed of and being needy in that matter. And that's fine, but we can also do something about it once we recognize that this is how the way it is. I want you to just think about how much power you have when you need nothing. If you need nothing from other people or from the future, they have no power over you. You are 100% free and don't need to prove anything to anyone. And the beautiful thing is that once we not need anything, we finally get everything. Once we don't need the money, we got this leverage and have such a high negotiating power on the table because we don't need a deal. There is also this best-selling book which also makes a claim that once you don't need girls, then you get the one compatible to you, and so forth and vice versa. Once we as new creators don't need these views and subscribers, then we can suddenly become more like ourselves, don't need to spam links, obsessing about tags and keywords, and thus ironically get an engaging audience because people just want to see authentic creators being just like them. And even when it comes to productivity, the same thing applies. Once I no longer need to be more productive, my attention goes fully to the task at hand, which is the most productive use of my attention actually. Once I no longer need to be present, the thoughts just stop because I'm not trying to do something about them. Once I don't need to make these videos, it's like my thumbs just cannot stop making them, which is how you solve writer's block actually. And if I'm way less needy and still not get what I want, that's okay because I don't need them. That's really the test. How much do you really need them? And once you sort of confirm that to yourself, then it's all win-win from there. But okay, Oscar, how do I actually become less needy, especially when I don't have what I want? And there's been multiple advice on this, such as focus on yourself, focus on your work, enjoy the moment, carpe diem, all that kind of stuff. While all this sounds good, it does not really go deep to the core issue, is that we do not like what is happening right now and want something else so bad, whether we're unconscious or conscious or not. So what does it look like to be as non-needy as possible? It means that no matter what happens, we are comfortable and enjoying what is right in front of us without, that's important, without wishing for anything else. We totally see reality in some kind of an HD high definition fashion. We can see how we actually behave like some kind of surveillance camera just monitored us every single second. And then when we see all of that, we say, okay, it is what it is, and unless I can change it right now, I don't want it any differently at this very moment. So in a way, we don't need to think anymore, ruminate, solve problems, because we don't need anything different than what it is. But then we become complacent and not do anything right. As much as I thought about it, it does not really happen again, because when we do not need, we get what we want. Like, think of last time you did not care about how your essay would turn out, and you ended up producing the best one without constraints. Think of last time you don't need to make any friends and ended up befriending multiple at some kind of party or social convention because you were just curious about how they were, not thinking about how they saw you. So the less needy we are, the more we see and can interact with this reality, like instinctively doing what is best for the situation, all while not caring about what happens. We have this unshakable power within us that makes us untouchable and can just walk away. Because of this unshakable core, we don't fear failures and rejections anymore. We can just strike out conversations with any strangers and ask girls out. I mean, either they want to meet you again, and you got yourself a very good victory right there, or nothing happens, which is most often the case. But it does not really matter because you do not need them in the first place. And I believe that other people can feel this unconsciously, this kind of unshakable core within you, and become drawn to it because that's what they want. Some kind of an inspiration that they can relate to, and they feel good because it's very pleasant to be with people who don't really need them or trying to sort of take advantage of them. I mean, if you really think about it. But then as we become more accepting, we start to see more and more the darker parts of ourselves. It's in these moments though that we must continue look down and once again say like, okay, it is what it is, and unless I can change it right now, I do not want it any different at that very moment. You can just repeat this exact phrase anytime you feel fear, anytime you feel frustration, disgust, or other kinds of unhappiness that pop up as you just peel back the onion. And also be honest every time you feel some kind of tensions and pains in your hands, feet, face, hip flexors because you're sitting too much and whatever. I mean, you are on your side. I'm on your side. It's all coming down to just accepting what it is and not wanting it any differently until you can change it, of course. Actually, if I know you correctly, you take pride in being smart, intelligent, or whatever. But as a definition of intelligence, it's like how quickly you can transform new information into the right behavior at this very moment. I think it's your best interest right now to become non-needy, start seeing the world as is and face the current reality. And actually the current reality might be better than what you're thinking. For instance, yesterday as I was recording this, I uploaded 2 videos to this channel. That's been the most productive day ever. Whenever I think of like, okay, I'm not as productive enough, I got evidence from reality right here that I've been the most productive self. So in a way, reality can also be in your own favor and not necessarily be the one condoning you all the time. So until we reach some kind of enlightenment or whatever that means, it's all about embracing reality as much as a surveillance camera right in front of us and just saying, okay, this what happens is what it is, and unless I cannot change it right now, I do not want any different than this. It's like, this is the only thing I have. Realizing every time you tense up in front of others, could be in like a video Zoom call or like in front of people, and just accepting when it happens, accepting when you're sort of like closing off from everyone. That's really helping out to open up again. And I can already feel this weight being lifted and this deep peace coming through my body. So no matter what happens, which is very beautiful, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to convey that feeling to you. And as a quick side note, by the time this video has been published, it's now been exactly 6 months since I made this channel my highest priority and started making full effort videos by myself. And if you check out the video 6 months ago in the description, or even from a week ago, you might have seen a very big difference in how I speak and act to the camera between how I was back then and how I am right now. And the reason why I say all this is to give you some kind of a motivation that big changes can happen very fast. And in these upcoming 6 months, I focus more on this unfiltered, no nonsense advice, as I was trying to help myself from a year ago, together with all things productivity, of course. Anyway, it would be very funny actually if I just said, please like, comment and subscribe to this channel, which I just talked about like non-neediness and not needing all these views, subscribers, all that. So that would be hypocritical actually. And if you found this video very helpful, you would have clicked like and subscribe right away. That's a no-brainer, right? All I can say, that I'm very happy for you and I'm excited to see your massive progress forward, which you not need by the way, and thus will get it.